Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. Y'all, I'm here with the dream. This dream was so long, y'all. And, yeah, let's get into it. 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 It was weird and it was long, FYI. So, in this dream, I'm on a trip with a woman. So, in this dream, I saw her. It's like I saw her as a mother figure, but she did not only did she not look like my mother, she wasn't even the same race as me. So it was that was very weird. We were in a hotel room. I knew that I was not where I lived, and I knew that I had came to that particular place for a specific reason. So, I have a baby with me, and this baby is a little boy. Once again, the baby did not look like my baby, like this, like not the son that I have, but I had the knowing that that was my baby, okay? So I am getting ready to take the baby to a place, and she was trying to stop me from taking the baby there. And there were other things going on, but it's kind of like this woman, whoever she was not, okay with what I was trying to do, but I felt like it was necessary for me to take the baby to the place. So as I get ready to leave with the baby, to take the baby where I needed to go, she tries to take me out of here, okay? And we end up having a little problem. You know, I ended up causing an end to that. And then I left. So, when I get to this place, it looks like a mixture between a mall, an amusement park, or like some kind of huge building, like a government. It was huge. Like the building was really big. And I go inside and we get on the elevator. Now, I realized, I didn't note this right here, but I realized that all of the people, there was someone that was operating the elevator, okay? And then all of the people that were in the elevator, they had something going on, regardless if they had, like they had been through some kind of tragedy, or they were hurt, or they were going through something, okay? Now, as we are on this elevator, the interesting thing about this elevator is it's kind of like it's glass. Like you can see as we get to each level, you could see that the entire floor. And these floors did not look like how, you know, in a mall it's just the shopping center or something. It was like an entire world. Like it was an entire, like I'm trying to explain it, y'all. So these worlds, like they had different things going on. So I do recall that some of the lower levels looked very dark. They looked very terrifying. It was scary. They had scary creatures. They had awful things going on. It was a lot of screams. It was a lot. It was a lot going on those lower levels. And some of the people, they had to get off on those levels. And then, the higher up levels, they look different. Like they had different kinds of scenery. They looked beautiful. And it's like, but they still had different things going on. And I recall getting off, going to level 8. And when I got to this level, it looked exactly like Earth. However, the lady was like, "Are you going to get off?" And when I looked around, I saw that there were these huge creatures that were terrible. Like they looked so scary. I was like, no, I'm not going over there. And it was like the people, you could see the people were normal size, and they were huge. They were like giants, and they looked complete. I don't understand. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Okay, and they were giant. But anyways, they were huge. They were huge. They were huge. They looked like these big, huge, giant creatures, and it was so scary. Then we had to go through some of these lower levels, and there was one level where something was wrong with the elevator. But when I got to this level, what really scared me about it is not only was it like a scary level, but there were little babies everywhere. And they looked like little demon babies. And it's like they looked like it was something wrong with them. And as the lady was like, well, everybody has to get off right here for a second. And I wasn't sure why. She was talking with somebody else that worked at the place. And I'm just sitting there for a second. Then I looked down at my baby, and the baby had like different layers of teeth. Like, went from looking like a normal baby, but it went from looking normal to having like several different layers of teeth, several different layers of eyes. And I was like, what's going on? I'm scared. I was like, what's going on? And I ended up like it was like it was trying to bite me. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, help. Okay, help. And I'm trying to hold the baby mouth shut. Y'all was scared. Then she, like, eventually, as I'm touching the baby, like, I'm holding the baby's face like this. And as I'm touching the baby, it eventually started to go back to normal. And then she tells me, okay, come on, get back on. If we can get back on the elevator now, we can get back on the, I'm like, okay. And we get back on the elevator. Let me see. I gotta look at my notes. And, we end up going up to a level that is so high. Like, this level, there was no number, okay, to the height that we went. And we were floating above the clouds, and there was no number. And it's like I said, the elevator was glass, so you could see everything. And I could see us going up and going up and going up. And once we got to that level, it's like there was a little pathway, and it was like, bricks all around, like, you know, really pretty bricks all around, golden bricks all around. And we were just sitting there, and she was like, do you want to go? And I just felt, for a reason, like, I just felt like it wasn't meant for me to go to that level at that, like, I was like, it's not, and you know, it was like, but the most amazing thing, like, as we were standing, like, I stood at the little brick area, and I was looking down, and you could see all the other levels from that level. Like, you could see everything that was going on all the other levels. And it was so, like, y'all, words cannot explain. But like I said, it was in the clouds. Like, the clouds were, it's kind of like being on an airplane. You could see the clouds are all around you. You could see, and then you could see the clouds going down, and then you could see all the other levels. Okay, so anyways, we get back on the elevator, and we end up back on the first floor after having to stop a few other levels. And okay, and then we get to the first floor, and that was the end of the dream. Lord, baby. That dream right there, that dream right there, that dream right there, that dream right there. It was something else. Heavenly Father, please give me a scripture to go with this dream. The scripture comes from Jeremiah 1:17. Get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar, and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its officials, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. It makes sense now. So, I feel like, okay, so the first thing, this is for someone that was chosen by God. Okay, God chose you. God chose you. God chose you. In this dream, as I was telling y'all, and even after I had the dream, God was telling me, like, he's showing me everything. Okay, so these are different layers of hell, okay, and different layers of heaven. And as so many prophets stated in the Bible, angels do not look the way that we would imagine them to look. While the person that was conducting the elevator looks normal, the one of the worlds that I looked at that was I guess it will be like a version of heaven, they were terrifying. Okay, and in the versions of hell, everything that was going on there was terrifying. It was terrifying. It was scary. People were screaming. It was dark. It was gloomy. It was depressing. I didn't even want to step off the elevator, but I had to because it was something going on with the elevator. And I just feel like for some of you, you may have to go through a situation just like it says here. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you. The baby that I had, like I said, it didn't look like my actual child. But this is to represent what God is giving you. So if God is calling you to be a prophet or God is calling you to be a pastor, you may have to deal with coming to tell people things. They're not going to want to hear it. And they're going to try to fight you about it. They're going to try to fight you about it. The evil spirits within them will try to attack you. They will try to attack you, and you yourself will you may have to put hands on them. Not put hands on them as in, snatch them up, but put hands on them and get rid of that evil spirit and send the evil spirit to where it's supposed to go. And that was that level of hell where those evil spirits were supposed to be. And then they'll be fine. Just like once I touched them and, they went back to normal. The baby went back to normal. We got back on the elevator. Everything was fine. And I feel like we could not go up to the top level until that evil spirit was out of the baby. So, you may have to come before people that they want to make it to heaven. They want to make it to heaven. They want to get to heaven and they want to be in heaven. But they cannot get to heaven if they are acting a fool on earth and they refuse to let go of whatever evil spirits and evil deities that are overtaking them down here. Okay. And that's just like at the beginning of the dream where there was a woman that I saw her as like a mother figure, but she wasn't my mother. I knew she wasn't my mother, and she was trying to stop me from going where I needed to go. There will be people that will fight you tooth and nail as you are going about saving other people. There will be people that are going to come against you. They're going to try to take you out of here because they do not want you to save the people that you are intended to save. They don't want you to help and rescue people that you are intended to help and rescue. And they will come against you and they will fight against you and they'll put forth their best effort to do so. But God says you will overcome them. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you. For I am with you and will rescue you. Just as in this dream, I got away. I was fine. I was fine. And I made it to where I was supposed to go to get those evil spirits out of the baby that I had. And it's just like for some of you, you may be in a situation to where you are going to have to break down the sin to these people, just as in the elevator broke down. If the elevator wouldn't have broke down, I wouldn't have got off on that level. I wasn't trying to get off on that level. I said that level ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But God is saying that there are some people, they are so stubborn and stiff-necked that you will have to tell them, if you don't get your act together, this is where you're going. And that will make them get their act together. Because there are people that don't believe. There are people that find it far-fetched to think that God has positioned for people that refuse to obey his laws and refuse to walk in the way that he has ordered them to walk. But God is saying, you going to have to talk. There will be people that you're going to have to show them. There are some people, they are better shown than they are actually. Like, there are some people that they are so stubborn. But God is saying that you are the person to do it. Just as I was able to get whatever out of that baby so that, we were able to get a glimpse. And I just feel like God is saying that not only once you are able to save people, once they are saved, then they will be able to get a glimpse of God's true power. They will be able to get a glimpse of God's majesty. They will be able to get a glimpse of what God has in store for them. God is saying that when people are saved, they will receive blessings. Yes, they will. When they do as he has asked them to do, he will bless them. It will fall from the sky. It won't make no sense, but God says it is theirs for the taking. God says he has all kinds of beautiful things in store for anybody that decides to turn away from their evil ways and turn away from their sin and walk down the path that he has given them. God said, get yourself ready. Get yourself ready. He's calling you. He is calling you. He wants you to go out and save some people so that they can see his majesty, so that they can make it onto that elevator and see the top floor. The top floor, the top floor, the top floor. Everybody couldn't go to the top floor. Everybody couldn't go to that floor. Like I said, when I first got on the elevator, it was a lot of people on there. And it's like they were being dropped off to where they were supposed to go. And some, like I said, they looked like they had some things going on. There were things that happened to them. And some of them did not make it to the top floor. Some of them, they were at those bottom floors. They were not excited to get over there. But guess what? When you live a life of sin, and you insist on turning away from God's will for your life, and you insist on doing evil, and you insist on going against what God is asking and commanding you to do, you are not going to end up seeing the streets of gold. You will not. Period. Get the thought out your head. If you acting a fool, you are not going to go there. And where you will end up is not going to be a beautiful place. I saw it. It ain't going to be fun. It will not be fun. It will not be fun. Get the thought out your head. Get it out your head. God said there are things that you will do that will get you on a level that you're not going to want to be on. However, God said he is calling you. He is calling you. He is calling you to come forth and save his children. Because it's not meant for them. It's meant for those demons. It's meant for those evil spirits. It's meant for the fallen angels. God never intended for us to end up in hell. But if you are insisting on going against the will of God, if you insist on going against the command of God, you are going to end up in a place that is hot. And there are fire flames going everywhere and people screaming and wailing from pain and destruction all over for all of eternity. Hello, mayday, mayday. This is not a drill. 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 You will go where you are designated to go depending on your deeds. God was not playing. He will open up a book and he will judge you by the works of your hands as you are walking this earth. And if your works are poor, piss poor, guess what? You're not going to a beautiful place. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. You can't come down here and fail every test God gave you and expect that you're going to go to heaven when you, nah. Where they do that at? Nobody goes to school and flunks throughout the whole time the whole semester, throughout the whole year, and then graduates. Nobody. God said it ain't happening. Period. You thought you going to get on that elevator and you going to be upset because it's going to go up one level or two and that's going to be it. God said you better act right while you here. You better put forth effort. Nobody's perfect. That's understood. Nobody walking this earth is perfect. But you cannot. Every second, every day when you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you trying to figure out what kind of evil you can conjure up today and think that you gonna make it to heaven. That is a fairy tale and a dream. And that's the truth. It is a fairy tale. It is a dream. It's far-fetched. Do you have to live a boring life? No. Do you have to sit around moping in the house all day? No. But you for sure can't expect that if you run in the streets acting a complete, y'all already know, and you just doing whatever you feel like it, you going completely against what God has asked you to do. You doing what, just all kinds of evil. You sitting around, you gossiping about everybody, and you sleeping around with everybody, and you drinking every single day, and you just acting a complete fool, and then think to yourself that you're going to make it to heaven. You are dreaming. You're dreaming. You cannot go around sleeping around with everybody's husband and think that God is going to smile at you when you get there. You're dreaming. It's a fairy tale. More like a nightmare. Nonsense. Whew. Some people, I don't even understand why they would think with the attitude that they have that God would want them in heaven. And you got a nasty attitude. You mean to everybody. You don't like nobody. You always got something mean and nasty to say about everybody. And you think that God is going to open up the gates to you? Please. Please. But that's the message. That's the message. God said somebody calling. I know this not just for me. It's for somebody else. God said he's calling you. He's calling you. He's calling you. Go out and save people. People are not meant to see the flames of hell. We are not meant. It's not meant for us. We are meant to go to heaven and be with God. But if people insist on refusing to listen and to the commands of God, that's where they will be. And that's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.